Hello, my name is Kevin Pekarinen, and this is my presentation on Web 2.0 tools and mobile apps for the course EDU 580. The first tool that I'm going to talk about is Wolfram Alpha. This site computes any question by accessing built-in data on a variety of topics. It is different than Google or other search engines because it gives direct answers as opposed to a list of websites. What's great about this is that it solves math problems, providing step-by-step solutions and even graphs of equations. A few downsides of this tool is that it requires a paid subscription to use all of its features. A student may also become reliant on this tool for answers and not for learning. So here's the home page for Wolfram Alpha, and we see that there is a nice search bar here where we can type in any question, and there's also a list of different topics down here with example questions. And these range from engineering to astronomy, chemistry to math. So let's go ahead and look at some example questions from math. So we can go ahead and click on that. And here are a bunch of different questions that they already have in here. Let's just look at some elementary mathematics. So here's an example of a question, 1/4 times 4 minus 1/2. We can go ahead and hit enter on that. And we can see that it will compute the answer for us. And it gives us the answer of 7/8. And you might be wondering how it came up with the answer of 7/8, so we can go ahead and click on the step-by-step solutions. Well, unfortunately for us, the step-by-step solutions is part of the paid subscription. It requires having the Go Pro Wolfram Alpha. So we can't see all the step-by-step solutions, but this is how it would look if we were to have that subscription. And what I really love about Wolfram Alpha as a teacher is that I can go ahead and let's just type in the quadratic equation y equals x squared. And if I hit enter, I'll be able to see a graph of it. And we see it says that it's a parabola. Here's our nice graph right there of it. There's a root at x equals 0, so we see that as well. And then what else I can also do is type in another equation next to it. Let's type in y equals x squared minus 4 this time. So now I have two different equations typed in there, and we see that it graphs both of them. So as a teacher, this is a great tool to use in front of the class, and we can be able to pull up different graphs on the same plane and say, okay, how is y equals x squared, represented by the blue line down there, and then how is that going to be comparable to the quadratic y equals x squared minus 4, represented by the purple line. And so the class will be able to see how those equations are different and similar, and how the graphs of the equations are similar and different. Overall, Wolfram Alpha is a great tool for students taking any course, but math course in specific, because not everyone can afford an advanced calculator. But with Wolfram Alpha, anyone with internet access has that same power right there on the internet. The next tool I'm going to talk about is Bubble.us. It is very useful for organizing thoughts and ideas by the use of mind maps. It's great for collaborating different concepts with other people because it's very easy to export and share your work. And overall, it's just very simple to use. You don't need to have a lot of experience with this tool in order to be good or to use it. Now, there are some challenges with Bubble.us. First off, it does require a paid subscription in order to use all of its features, and the workspace is very limited. So if you have a rather large mind map, you're going to find yourself a little cramped. Now here's the website, and you can sign up for a subscription, or you can just start brainstorming right away, like I said. It's not very hard to understand how to do this, so you can just click on Start Brainstorming, and here's your space. So a map that I'm going to make is going to have to deal with math. So let's say I want to talk about numbers. Alright, and now it says I can hit Control plus Enter, and it'll give me a child node. And in numbers, there's two different types of numbers. There are real numbers, and there are also imaginary numbers. So I'm going to go back to this top one and click there, and I get another node coming off of our original node of numbers. So we have real numbers and we have imaginary numbers. Now there's also, in the real number category, we can have either rational or we can have irrational numbers. So I can go ahead and add that in there. And you see that we're starting to create a map, and if I just click anywhere near it, I can drag it around. And let's continue on working with our map. For rational numbers, there is also going to be integers. That falls in that category. And within integers, we have whole numbers, and within whole numbers, we have natural numbers. So we can see here that, as I said earlier, there's a pretty small workspace. So what we can do, we can go ahead and move some of these nodes around, try to fit everything in. So I'll just continue moving these nodes around a little bit and adjust it. Or what I can do, I can hit the fit button, and it's going to fit it for me. So that looks pretty good. And there's some other features here. Let's say I want to change the background color for imaginary numbers. I can just click on that. Let's change the text to, or the background to orange. Alright, so there's a nice, pretty simple mind map there. And overall, this is a great tool because for students, they can use it to create outlines if they have to write a research paper, if they want to outline all their thoughts beforehand, or if they want to create something to help them study off of, such as this mind map. And for teachers and staffs, I think it's really good for them to use if they want to take notes at a PD meeting, and then of course they can share it with other colleagues as well who can add on to it. Now there are a lot of other mind mapping tools out there on the internet to choose from, but I really like this one. Kaggle is another one, but I just found that Bubble.us is a little bit simpler and user-friendly to use than that. And another option for mind mapping would be FreeMind, but FreeMind is a program which you have to download and install. So I like Bubble.us because it is web-based, so there's nothing to download or install. You can use it anywhere that you have the internet. Now the mobile app that I'm going to talk to you about is Quizlet. Quizlet is a flashcard and study tool, and there's several advantages to using Quizlet. First, it's very easy to create flashcards or to use previously created flashcards. It has a simple and easy to use interface with very simple graphics. So it's not going to try to have a whole bunch of animations or sound or pictures or things like that that's going to really slow down the studying process. And the best thing about Quizlet is that it has 3 different study modes that make studying very interesting for students. But there are some challenges to Quizlet. So first off, since Quizlet does include previously made flashcards by other people, there could be misinformation on those flashcards or spelling mistakes. And once again, Quizlet requires a paid subscription in order to use all of its features. Now I have found that Quizlet is very similar to ExamTime. ExamTime is another mobile app that's used for flashcards and studying, but what makes Quizlet better is that it has these different study games that help students stay, actively involved and interested in their learning. So, not only is Quizlet a mobile app, but it's also a web tool. So I'm here on the website now, and we see that we can go ahead and sign up and create an account, or we can just start studying. So let's search a topic, and we're going to search none other than math. So I type that in there, and we're going to see that it comes up with a lot of different pre-made flashcards. So we can just go ahead and click on one of these sets of flashcards. So let's click on this one. And we see that here is some information that has been put on all the flashcards. And let's put it in flashcard form actually. So we're going to click on flashcards, and we see that there's all these different flashcards product. And if I click on the flashcard, it flips over and it gives me the definition. It says the answer to a multiplication problem, and it tells me that here's a factor times another factor. It gives me the product. So 18 would be the product. In this case, I can click on it again and flip it over and keep looking through other cards. Now, as I said earlier, one of the best things about Quizlet is that it has these different game modes. So we're going to go ahead and look at one that is more or less just a matching game. So we can click on that, start the game, and we see that all the cards, both front and back, are on the screen now. And so we can see the answer to a division problem. Well, that is going to be a quotient. So we can just drag that over there, and it disappears. Now we can go ahead and look at Quizlet as a mobile app. So we can go back down here, click on mobile apps, and we can kind of see what it would look like to use Quizlet on a device. Here on this first device we see that we have the list of the different flashcards that have already been created, and then right here in this device we see that this is actually the matching game that you can play as a mobile app as well. Overall, Quizlet is a great study app for students. If they finish an assignment early in class, they would be able to use their device to easily and quietly study for other subjects, and they'd stay interested in studying because of the different games, such as the matching game we saw, how it keeps a timer. They're going to want to try to beat their own record. That concludes my presentation. I want to encourage everyone to go check out these web tools and mobile apps and see how you can use them in your school. Thank you for watching.